Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Literature in metrical form. Any communication resembling poetry in beauty or the evocation of feeling. Literature in metrical form. A piece of poetry. A line of metrical text. Literature in metrical form. Compose verses or put into verse. Familiarize through thorough study or experience. She versed herself in Roman archaeology. A style of expressing yourself in writing. An expressive style of music. A class of art, or artistic endeavor, having a characteristic form or technique. A kind of literary or artistic work. A style of expressing yourself in writing. A style of expressing yourself in writing. A way of expressing something, in language or art or music etc. that is characteristic of a particular person or group of people or period. Designate by an identifying term. They styled their nation, the Confederate States. The popular taste at a given time. The 1920s had a style of their own. Distinctive and stylish elegance. A pointed tool for writing or drawing or engraving. How something is done or how it happens. In the characteristic New York style. A way of expressing something, in language or art or music etc. that is characteristic of a particular person or group of people or period. All the reporters were expected to adopt the style of the newspaper. A particular kind, as to appearance. This style of shoe is in demand. A slender bristle-like or tubular process. A cartilaginous style. Botany, the narrow elongated part of the pistil between the ovary and the stigma. Editorial directions to be followed in spelling and punctuation and capitalization and typographical display. Make consistent with a certain fashion or style. Style the dress. Make consistent with certain rules of style. Style a manuscript. A long narrative poem telling of a hero's deeds. A body of poetry that conveys the traditions of a society by treating some epic theme. Poetry celebrating the deeds of some hero. Poetry celebrating the deeds of some hero. An early name of Ireland that is now used in poetry. In an affectionate or loving manner, sweet is sometimes a poetic or informal variant of sweetly. Susan Hayward plays the wife sharply and sweetly. Poetry, painful grief. Expressing deep emotion. The dancer's lyrical performance. A short poem of song-like quality. The text of a popular song or musical comedy number. His compositions always started with the lyrics. Of or relating to a category of poetry that expresses emotion, often in a song-like way. Lyric poetry. Relating to or being musical drama. The lyric stage. Used of a singer or singing voice that is light in volume and modest in range. A lyric soprano. Write lyrics for a song. Copied in handwriting. Poetic, still or calm. In the stilly night. With speed. Poetic, literary, quickly. Not containing or composed of salt water. English phonetician. One of the founders of modern phonetics, 1845 to 1912. In an affectionate or loving manner, sweet is sometimes a poetic or informal variant of sweetly. Susan Hayward plays the wife sharply and sweetly. Pleasing to the mind or feeling. Sweet revenge. With sweetening added. A food rich in sugar. Pleasing to the ear. Having a natural fragrance. The property of tasting as if it contains sugar. The taste experience when sugar dissolves in the mouth. Having a sweet nature befitting an angel or cherub. A sweet disposition. Not soured or preserved. Sweet milk. A dish served as the last course of a meal. Having or denoting the characteristic taste of sugar. Pleasing to the senses. The sweet song of the lark. Used of wines, having a high residual sugar content. Sweet dessert wines. Poetry, painful grief. Cause to be quiet or not talk. Poetic, tranquil silence. Become quiet or quieter. Become quiet or still, fall silent. Hush my baby. Run water over the ground to erode soil, revealing the underlying strata and valuable minerals. Wash by removing particles. To a greater degree or extent, used with comparisons. An even, or still, more interesting problem. Of a body of water, free from disturbance by heavy waves. Scarcely a ripple on the still water. Marked by absence of sound. The night was still. Despite anything to the contrary, usually preceding a concession. Granted that it is dangerous, all the same I still want to go. Make calm or still. Lessen the intensity of or calm. Still the fears. A plant and works where alcoholic drinks are made by distillation. Cause to be quiet or not talk. Not sparkling. A still wine. Not in physical motion. Poetic, tranquil silence. The still of the night. Without moving or making a sound. He sat still as a statue. An apparatus used for the distillation of liquids. Consists of a vessel in which a substance is vaporized by heat and a condenser where the vapor is condensed. A static photograph, especially one taken from a movie and used for advertising purposes. He wanted some stills for a magazine ad. Free from noticeable current. A still pond. Make motionless. With reference to action or condition, without change, interruption, or cessation. It's still warm outside. Used of pictures. Of a single or static photograph not presented so as to create the illusion of motion, or representing objects not capable of motion. A still photograph. Calmness without winds. Poetic, tranquil silence. A state of no motion or movement. Use alliteration as a form of poetry. Compose an elegy. Compose an elegy. Convert from a non-metric to the metric system. Compose in poetic meter. Compose verses or put into verse. Compose verses or put into verse. Write new lyrics for a song. A piece of poetry. Compose rhymes. Correspondence in the sounds of two or more lines, especially final sounds. Be similar in sound, especially with respect to the last syllable. Hat and cat rhyme.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.